Welcome back for another book review. Today we are talking about this one. So this is Wicca Book of Spells by Lisa Chamberlain. This is, I think, my third book now that I've read from her. Once again, it's one that I'm planning on buying. So I've been getting a lot of books from the library because, again, you just have to search it very specifically to find them, and it's been a magical journey. And so I have absolutely loved all of Lisa Chamberlain's books. This was no exception. So with it being a book of spells, that's like 90% of this book, but there were quite a few that I was like, this would be helpful, this would be helpful, this would be helpful. She's also big on consent, which is huge. And again, her books are relatively small, but these are just, I love all of her books. I want to own them all. Now, one of the fun things about renting from the library is that you get some fun things going on. So the last part of this book, like the pages are trying to fall out already, and I don't even think this was a very old book. It was published in, does it say there's two publication numbers here? The text, okay, so the book came out in 2020. She initially wrote her version before it got picked up by the publishing house in 2016, but this is from 2020. And the library got it in 2020, so it says the stampy stamp. So this book has, the end chapter is like falling out. There is a page missing, which is a bummer because it's one that I was like, I would love to write that down. Can't do that. It's not there. So that sucked. And then for whatever reason, of like all the pages to take out of a spell book, somebody took out this type of page, but for part 4. Why? I don't know. They took out part 4 page. That's it. Not the section, just that page, because then it'll jump into like that. But they just took out that page. I don't know why. It's like this kind of a page. But for part 4, and it's like, but why would you do this? It's so weird. Because this is where it should be. It's not. There's just this little tiny evidence that it once existed. I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about this book other than I highly recommend it. It's great whether you are Wiccan or just a witch. Like, it's a really good resource. She writes in a way that's very practical for most people, and honestly, whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, I think you could get something from this book. Again, they're relatively small, but that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes the smaller books are just nice to have because it's nice just to flip through a short book. For me, I do have a slight preference for these when I'm reading through a lot of books because it's like, oh, look at you, it's a short journey. But also, I do want to get all of her books. There's just something about the way Lisa Chamberlain writes that is so good. Again, she writes in a way where it's very informative, but not like trying to be an academic or trying to talk down to you, like proving that they're smarter than you. It's very practical, and she writes in, like, she includes just a lot of random bits of information that you wouldn't necessarily usually find in books that are just so convenient, of just like random little tidbits of information that are relevant but you just wouldn't always find in books. It's one of the reasons I absolutely love her books. Eventually I do want to own all of hers, and I hope she continues to write because she is a fantastic writer. And again, I'm really surprised because, again, small books, random publishing house, I do typically get a little like about. But her books have always been so good. I know she has a number of them. I don't know if they're all published from self-publishing into the publishing house. On Amazon, I think you can still find both versions, so you can find her self-published version and theirs. Gonna be completely honest, publishing houses are really good for the aesthetics part. Like, they have designers that are really good at what they do. Like, isn't this just beautiful? It's gorgeous. They do a fantastic job. But she is one of those authors that it's like, I do want to go get all of her books one of these days. Like, when I have a little bit of money, that's like, my goal is to just go mass purchase and be like, thank you for existing, because you write good books, please write more. I think she does enough research on things that, like, honestly, at this point, I kind of feel like I would trust her for any of her books. Some of them, they write on so many topics that none of the information gets really covered well. Looking at you, DJ Conway, some of her content is not always the greatest. You feel like you need to research further. I don't have that with Lisa Chamberlain. So far, I have not really stumbled across anything where I've been like, I think I need to look somewhere else too, because I don't really trust this. Haven't come across that yet. I don't know if it will happen, but as of now, These are fantastic. So anyways, that is going to be it for this short little book review. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. Huge thank you to my patrons. I'll have their names here on the screen. If you'd like to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Make sure to like and subscribe. I post every single day. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.